All right, we're going to give everybody a couple of minutes to get in, and we're also being recorded, so I know that there are a number of people who are going to be watching this later because they're sleeping in or doing something else on a Sunday, going to church, I don't know. So you guys can just sit tight for a couple of minutes. If you're getting yourself set up, all you're going to need is either a mat or carpet space about the length of your body. We're not doing too much stuff outside of the space of the mat. So yeah, I'm gonna get set up and review the class and make sure that I don't forget anything. And as I mentioned, I think Emily may be hopping on. She's either going to hop on before we start or right as we finish. So we'll wait and figure out if that's going to happen too, when that's going to happen.
Good morning, everybody. We'll wait for a few more people to filter in. I hope you guys have enjoyed the challenges this week. Rachel and I are holed up in the studio over here to do Sarah's workout. I'm so excited. I'm even gonna cheat and turn on my watch now because I forgot last week and then I had to wander around like high knee stepping it through my kitchen. Good. Okay, well we're recording, so we'll go ahead and start the We'll go ahead and start doing our fun drawing. So we had lots of people that turned in their lovely colored M's. You can see pictures of them on social media. It was really fun to see, you know, everybody's creativity and just that they invested the time and energy to send those to us. So we wanted to give back to you. So Rachel and I are going to screen share our computer and do a fun random wheel of names to see who wins some fun things this week for coming along and playing with us. So if for some reason anybody is here that didn't turn in their letter this week, it doesn't mean you can't do it next week. We're going to do this again for the next 4 weeks of the challenge. And you can go back and review any of these things on our YouTube page that you want to, if something really resonates with you, then you can go back and take a look at that later. So we're going to go ahead and screen share. I'm going to, one participant can share at a time. Desktop, share computer sound. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's see what happens now. Yay! Okay, here's our random wheel of fun. Woo! And I think we got everybody's names that turned in their colored M's to us, so we're really excited. Rachel's gonna read off the prize that we're going to give away, and then we're gonna go click and spin and see who wins. And if it's one of us, then we'll just spin it again. So, what's our first fun thing, Rach?
A $25 gift card to Forest Juice.
Awesome. All right, so here we go. Let's see if it works. Click to spin. Melissa Buckley! Yay! Melissa Buckley, we'll get that to you this week. $25 at Forest Green's Juice Bar. They have a lot of great stuff, so I'm glad you can enjoy that. And then what is our next thing, Rach?
The next thing we're giving away is 2 services at Restore, which was, that was our self-care Saturday. So that's the place in Deerfield that has the cryotherapy, the, I forgot all the other things.
Sauna, all kinds of great stuff. Okay, so you get 2 services there?
2 services.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. I feel like there should be more noise, like a da-da-da-da-da-da. Yay! 3 drinkings in it. Good job. All right. is fun. Is it sad that I'm having this fun about the
Super
wheel
excited.
spinning? Okay, what's our next fun thing?
The next thing is one private session.
So one private Pilates, spin, yoga session at the studio. If you're not coming in the studio right now, we'll do that virtually with you as well. So you don't necessarily have to come in the studio to do that. So everybody can benefit from that. Kristen Rock! Yes! Hey! And I think, Kristen, you usually join us virtually, so we'll connect with you offline to try to figure out how to make that happen for you. Awesome job. All right, and our last fun thing
Is a move package, so a t-shirt and a class of your choice.
yes, and maybe a fun mug or something. Here we go, last one.
Let's spin.
Janet! She doesn't get to win. Don't tell her she won. Janet, go watch the video. Just start watching when Sarah does her exercise. Okay. Oh, Melissa went again. Okay, we can't have one person. We're going to spin this one more time. Bill is taunting me today and giving Sarah time to stretch out before she has to teach all of us. There we go. Megan Walcott. She's been playing at our Peloton studio. So congrats, Megan. Thank you guys again so much for coming along for the ride with us. I am going to turn this back over to Sarah. So give me 1 second while I make her the host again. More. Make host. And we are out. Sarah's in charge.
Okay. So I mentioned this before when people were coming in, and I know people are obviously on YouTube. So all we need today is a mat or just space that is remotely cushy because we're going to be lying down and on all fours. So let's start actually standing today. So you have to stand up to start, and we're going to see if my head cuts off because of the view for me. So I may have to kind of adjust my screen, but we're going to try. So what I want you guys to do, you're just going to stand up. You're going to pick, I don't know, one corner of your mat or just right in the middle. And sorry guys, I'm trying to change my view, but I may have to just give up. And you are going to stand hip distance apart. I know my head's not in here, but we're going to pretend it is. About hip distance apart, and your feet are in parallel. So all we're going to do is we're going to mimic the reformer from standing. So what I want you to do is you're standing in parallel. All you're going to do, little bend to the knees, and then straighten. Your feet are going to stay flat on the ground the whole time. So you're just going to bend and straighten your knees, kind of like a mini squat. And you're just coming in and out. You want to keep your back nice and flat as if you were laying down on the reformer. So we're just coming down and up. Let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And 1 more. Now, just like in a reformer, we're going to change positions. So let's go wide. Pretend that this mat is the foot bar. So you're going to go pretty wide, wider than hip distance. A little bit of a turn out to your feet. So a little turn out to your feet. And again, you're just going to bend and straighten the knees. That's it. Your arms can do whatever you want. If you were on a reformer, obviously they would be at your sides. So you can hold them in front of your chest. You can put them on your hips. You can shake them around. You can do whatever you want, but you're just bending and straightening your knees. So let's do 3 more here. You can exhale to straighten if you want a breathing pattern here. This is your last one. And again, switch positions, this time heels together, toes apart, so you're in Pilates V. You're going to keep your feet flat, and you're just gonna bend and straighten, and you might notice that one of your legs, it feels maybe a little bit more comfortable to bend and straighten. You might be a little bit tighter through the front of your legs on one side. So you're just working within the range that your body's gonna give you. And if you know me, you know I'm really tight, so my range is not very big. But we're just doing the best we can. So we're going to do 2 more. And 1 more. And the last one we're going to do is actually internal rotation, which is my favorite position. So that means if your knees allow it, you're gonna go probably a little wider than hip distance because it's kind of awkward on your hips. Toes are towards each other, heels are out, and you're just, again, gonna bend and straighten. Now, see how the knees kind of can get a little weird here? Your bend and straighten is probably gonna be a little bit smaller. It might be regular range, but just go with what feels okay. Again, your feet are flat. So we're trying to warm up those muscles through the ankles. And you're trying not to tip too far forward with your chest, okay? We're going to do 3 more, and then we're going to get to it outside of this footwork business. So let's find the edge of our mat. You're going to find some edge. I'm going to come over here. Can you guys see me? Yes. All right, so feet are flat. You're going to take a nice big inhale. You're going to exhale. We're going to roll down. So you're going to tuck your chin towards your chest and roll down towards the ground and just hang out there for a second. If you are tight, you might be a little bit higher. Your hands might not touch the ground. That's okay. Wherever you are, I want you to kind of lean forward, maybe bend your knees so your hands touch the ground. And you're going to walk out to a plank. You're going to hold that plank for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to pike your hips, reach your heels down, and slowly walk. Your hands back to your feet, slightly bend your knees, and roll up to standing. That's 1. We're going to do 3. So again, big inhale, fill those lungs with air, arms go overhead. Tuck your chin to your chest and dive towards the floor. Slowly walk those hands off to plank. Try not to move your hips too much. Find your plank. You can go wider here. You can also, Did I go out to you guys? Just keep holding your plank. Sorry, my screen went out. Pike your hips up and walk it back in. I just had to make sure you guys were doing your planks. That's all I'm doing, just checking you out. So we've got 1 more. You've rolled up to standing. So last plank. Big inhale up. Exhale, dive towards the floor. Walk your hands out. Find your plank. Make sure your shoulders are over your wrists. Go a little bit wider on the feet if you need to as we hold this plank. Now what I want you to do is bring your right knee to your right elbow. So tuck that knee in and then reach it long. And left knee to left elbow and reach it long. 2 more on each side, knee to elbow and left knee to elbow. And 1 more, right to right and right, or left to left. Now, we're in plank, both feet are down, and let's actually drop to our knees. You're going to find a quadruped in all 4 positions. Slide your hands a little closer to your waist so that they're lined up. I feel like sometimes they drift when you are planking. Your knees are underneath your hips. And what I want you to do is a nice little warm up of your spine as if we haven't done enough. You're going to push into your hands and arch your spine into a camel. And then you're going to push your hips away, give your spine look forward. And again, you're going to push up into cat. And drop the hips and push those sits bones away into cat. So we call it cat cow, some people call it cat camel. They're both right. But we're just gonna go to these opposite ends of arching and curling through the spine a few times. Now, as you hit each of these extreme ends, this big dip in the spine or the big arch in the spine, I want you to move through it fluidly, so don't hold one particular position. Just think of it as kind of a cyclical roll through. We're going to do one more each of these before we find a nice flat back kind of middle ground, so in between those two extremes. So let's find that middle ground right now, still on all fours. And I want you to really press your hands into your mat so you're nice and grounded through the hands. If you need to tuck your tail a little bit, that's okay to keep this flat back. We're going to move our scapula, which are these big bones back here on your back, your shoulder blades really. And what I want you to do is when you press your hands into the mat, I want you to feel like you're spreading your scapula apart. So you're going to push them in and kind of spread those shoulder blades apart. And then I want you to pull your shoulder blades together so your chest kind of comes down a little bit more towards the floor. So you push into your hands and spread your scapula apart. And then you pull your scapula together so there is a lot less space between them, kind of like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. So again, you're pushing them apart. And then you're squeezing them back together. Your shoulders are staying out of your ears the whole time as we're pushing them apart and pulling them together. We're just thinking about moving those shoulder blades around your rib cage. We're going to do one more, pushing apart and squeezing together nice and strong. Now, I want you to think about keeping those shoulder blades squeezing together, keeping those hands nice and rooted, and I want you to tuck your toes under, which means, yes, we're going to lift our knees in a second. So tuck your toes under, make sure you're nice and steady, and if you've got it from all fours, I want you to just hover those knees off the mat. So your knees are hovering, you're in what would be called a bear position, and you're holding for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly come down. If you need to come off your wrist for a second, you can. It's a lot on the wrist. We're going to find that all fours position again. We're going to do it 2 more times. So toes are tucked under. You're going to lift up into this little bear for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. And one more time. Lifting up for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Now, my screen keeps going out because why would anything go the way it's planned? We're going to sit down on our mat. Now, I am going to sit, because my knees allow it, in a position that mimics being in mermaid on the reformer. So what that means is, I am going to have my knees bent, my left shin is going to be facing away from me, and my right calf is in front of me. And I actually did left and right correct, so that's kind of the first win of the day. Now, when you're sitting in this position, for most of us, we're kind of tight through our hips, so it's a lot harder to keep your left cheek or your left kind of hip down. And that's the struggle that we're going to try to focus on from this position. If you need more space between your feet, your legs, you can take it. And also if this just doesn't work, sit with the legs straight out and the feet flat. I'm sure my feet are dirty. There we go. Okay, so I'm back in this mermaid position. I'm going to roll my shoulders out of my ears and hold my hands out to a T. We're going to do saw. So what that means is keeping both cheeks down as best we can. You're going to take these straight arms and you're going to twist to the right. So away from that straight calf and come back to center. And we're going to twist to the left and come back to center. We're going to do 2 little pulses as we twist right. So pulse, pulse, center, pull both cheeks down, pulse, pulse, center. If the arms don't want to go long, we can go halvesies. We can go right, right, center, and left, left, center. We've got 3 more sets, right, right, center, and left, left, center. 2 more, right, right, center. Shoulders out of the ears, left, left, center. 1 more each way, right, right, center, and left, left, center. Now take your right hand and put it down on your mat. Both hips are still down. We're going to try to pull, especially this left one, down. You're going to raise your left hand over your head. Your right arm's going to kind of bend, and you're just going to do a nice little side stretch. So you're going to stretch this left side of the body by pulling your left hip down. You're using your right arm as support. You could also tuck it if you feel strong enough there, but I like to use it as a little bit of a kickstand. And you're stretching. Now, from this stretch, if you've got it, I want you to rotate towards that right side of the mat. So you're in this little bit of a twist. You're feeling a lot of pull on that right hand, and you can kind of push that right hand in and turn your chest even more to the right. And you're going to lift your left arm and come back to a seated position. So we're nice and stretched. We've got a little rotation. We're going to lean over to the right side just for a quick little counter stretch. I saw that, Emily. Good job. You're 1 step ahead. And you are going to come back to seated. Now, what we're going to do from here is you're actually going to come down to, let's come hands down, but let's stack our knees. So you're going to bend your knees and your hand is down on the right side. We're going to lift up into a side bend, which is basically a side plank. So if you don't feel strong enough with your legs straight, keep your knees bent. Otherwise, let's pop those legs out as straight as we can get them. Your hand is down. If this hurts your wrist, come to your forearm. We're going to push into that hand or forearm, push into your feet or knees, and lift up into a plank. But also try to lift your hips up and reach that left arm overhead for a little extra stretch, and then come back down as gracefully as possible. We're going to do 2 more like that. So remember, we can go on our forearms, and we can lift up and stretch, push those hips up, and then come back down. And 1 more time, I'm going back up to my hands, go wherever you feel comfortable, lift up. Big stretch to the side, reach that left arm towards the mat, and lower down. Perfect. Now what I want you to do is you're going to come down to your forearm if you're not already there. From this position, you're going to straighten your legs out if they're not already there. We're going to go into a side plank. So what I want you to do is elbow over shoulder, lift up into a side plank position. Your feet can be stacked or they can be staggered, whichever is more comfortable for you. And we're just going to hold this side plank for a count of 6, 5, 4. Shoulders are out of your ears. 2, 1. And we're going to actually rotate our chest towards the floor from here. So you're going to rotate just a little bit and come back up. And again, rotate and come back up. And 1 more time. Rotate and come back up and slowly come down to a seated position. Now, what I want you to do from here, staying in that seated position, slide that hand down so that your elbow is down on the mat and your sideline. So we're going to do some hip and kind of booty work from here. I personally like to have my elbow bent and my hands supported, but you can always lay fully down. And today we are actually going to bend your bottom leg. So in this case, it's our right leg that's bent, basically just like you're on the reformer, because that right leg is going to help keep us stable, because this is going to be a little unstable. Our left hand can be on your hips. It can be in front of you on the mat, wherever you want to put it. So we're going to keep our chest open, a little bit of a lift through the chest and the underside. And I want you to actually bend your knee. See how I already am kind of going? Bend your knee so that you're at about a 90-degree bend. Now this left knee is going to actually come down towards your chest. So it's going to come up and down kind of in a diagonal towards your chest and then back out to 90. So it's going to come in towards the chest and back out to 90. And you're fighting to try not to let your hip come too far forward, okay? I have my foot flexed because that's what feels good for me, because I want to turn my whole leg on, but you do you. This is 4, we're going for 6. I'm pressing that bottom leg into the mat. I'm lifting through my shoulders as best I can. We've got one more towards the chest and back up to 90 now. Flex your foot if it's not already flexed. Take this 90-degree bend, and you're actually going to kick behind you without letting this hip go crazy. So we're still at a 90-degree bend. It'd be almost like we're holding the ball between the back of our calf and the back of our hamstring. And we're swinging that left heel to the wall or to the area of your room behind you, making sure everything stays on the same plane as if we're sliding it along a table. You've got 2 more. Kick the heels back and forward, and 1 more, back and forward. Now straighten that leg out as long as you possibly can. Flex your foot, drive that heel back and squeeze, and point your toe and swing it forward. Pull in through the middle, kick the heel back, back, and point forward. Flex, flex, point forward. 3 more. Flex, flex, point forward. 2 more. Flex, flex, point forward. 1 more. Flex, flex, point forward, and let's rest that hip, rest that leg just for a second. So what we're going to do from here, my friends, is to roll over onto your back. So we're laying down flat on our back on the mat. Your legs are going to be straight. Yes, even that leg we just worked is going to be as straight as we can get it. You're going to squeeze your legs together, and you're going to flex your toes towards your nose. You're going to take your hands, lift them up above your chest, and you're going to take a nice big inhale. You can let your hands come over your head, and you're going to exhale, and you're going to tuck your chin, and you're going to roll up as best you can. You can hold onto your legs, you can bend your knees and roll up. You're going to get up the best way you can. You might need to roll onto your side and sit up, and that's perfectly fine. So again, we're going to go back down where we came from 2 more times. So my legs are straight, my feet are flexed. I'm slowly rolling down, my arms are reaching out in front of me. I'm taking my belly button, pulling it in towards my spine, rolling down. Hands go overhead, nice big inhale. Exhale, and again, reaching forward and getting up and over my belly button the best way I know how. Stack it tall at the top. 1 more time. You're going to roll down nice and slow. Squeeze those legs together. Take a nice big inhale as those arms come overhead. Exhale and roll up. Nice and slow, and pretend that that was graceful and glorious. Take a little fold over stretch. We're going to sit up tall, and guess what? We get to do the whole thing on the other side. So what I want you to do is, we are going to set up for the other side, which means if you've already forgotten, we were in this little mermaid position with our feet. So this time, left calf is in front of us, your right shin is facing away. You're trying to keep both cheeks down. Yes, this may not happen. As you can see, I am the perfect example of just trying really hard, but maybe not getting there, and that's okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit in this little stretch. Remember, you can always just have the legs straight out if they don't wanna bend. You're gonna try to keep that right hip down, arms go out to the side, shoulders are rolled out of your ears. You're going to twist, this time to the left first, twice. Come back to center. Twist right, right, and back to center. Twist left, left, and back to center. Your belly button is in towards your spine, right, right, and center. Remember, we can go halvesies, left, left, and center. Pull that right hip down, right, right, and center. 3 more each side, left, left, and center, and right, right, and center. 2 more, left, left, and center, and right, right, and center. 1 more, left, left, and center, and right, right, and center. Now, drop that left hand to the mat, pull your right hip down, and side stretch. Just a nice little side stretch. You can lift the left arm, you can keep it down as a kickstand, whatever feels good. And in a second, you're going to rotate towards the mat to try to get your right hand towards the mat. It might not go, that's okay. And you're going to kind of push and pull that left side to get a little bit more rotation. You're going to lift your right arm back up, come up to a seated position. Tip over so that the left arm stretches just a smidge. And come up to seated. Now, the next thing that we are going to do, I have to look at my book because I've already forgotten. See, I blocked it out. We're going to do this full side, this kneeling kind of side bend situation first. Then we're going to do a full side bend. So, knees are stacked, hands down. Remember, we can always go forearms. Let's stretch the legs out if you have it. You're going to stack your feet or stagger, push up into a side bend, push those hips up to the ceiling. Ooh, this side is not as strong. And you're going to slowly come back down. So I was a little shaky on this side. Totally fine. Can't be even all the time. So I'm probably going to stack my feet for this next one. So inhale, lift up. Reach that right hand over, stretch, push those hips up, and come back down. 1 more time. Shoulders out of the ears, and lift and stretch. And slowly come back down. When we come back down, we're going to drop down to our forearm on the left, elbow underneath your shoulder. Legs are stretched out. You are going to push up into a side plank, and we're just going to hold the side plank, okay? Feet can be stacked, feet can be staggered, you do you. We're holding for 6, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to thread the needle for 3, and back up. For 2, and back up. Watch those shoulders on the left. 1, and back up, and slowly and gracefully come down. You're going to slide all the way down onto your mat, and I'm going to keep my elbow bent so that I force this little lift through my chest. My bottom leg, which in this case is left, is bent, and my right leg is actually bent too at 90 degrees. I'm flexing my foot. My hips are as stacked as I can get them. And I'm going to take this right knee and I'm going to bring it towards my chest, tap it down, and pull back to this 90-degree bend. So down towards your chest and tap, and back up. We've got 4 more. And back up. Remember, it's like you're holding the little blue ball between the back of your calf and your hamstring. You've got 2, and lift. You've got 1, and lift. Now, keep that foot flexed or get it flexed if it's not already there. And you're gonna drive that heel behind you, keeping your hip nice and square, and bring it back to its starting place. So reach the heel behind you, and back to start. 4 more, reach, and start. You're pressing your left foot down into the mat for some stability. You've got 2 more, lift through the chest, and back. And you've got 1 more, and back. Now reach that right leg long, 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 long. Feel that length from the hip all the way to your toe. We're gonna point our toes and reach our leg forward, and then we're gonna flex, flex back and squeeze. Point forward and along the same line, flex, flex, and squeeze. Point, flex, flex. 3 more, point. Flex, flex. 2 more, point. Flex, flex. 1 more, point. Flex, flex, and relax. You're going to roll onto your backs, and we're going to do 3 roll-ups, just like we did before. So your feet are long, they're squeezing together. You're laying down on your mat. Toes are flexed towards your nose. You're gonna take an inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, hands travel forward, chin tucked towards chest. Maybe we can't get up, that's okay. Bend your knees, hold on to the back of your legs and pull yourself up gracefully. Stretch those legs back out. And slowly roll down. Just as gracefully as if we're little, I don't know, strings of pearls, lowering down 1 pearl at a time. Big inhale, exhale, use that breath to get up and over those hips. Lean forward at the top, take a little stretch, and stack up. This is our last roll down. You're going to roll all the way down. Nice and slow. And we're actually gonna stay right here. You're going to bend your knees, and you're going to bring your heels kind of towards your butt. We're going to do some bridging. This is not going to be anything profound. You know how to bridge. Your hands are going to be flat on the mat, but we're going to change this because let's squeeze our legs together. So you're going to squeeze your legs together just as if you have, it's 1 unit. So those inner thighs, those calves, everything is squeezing towards one another. You're keeping that squeeze on the inside of the legs. You're exhaling, scooping, tucking, and just rolling up into bridge just to the base of your shoulder blades. And then you're rolling down nice and slow, still squeezing those legs. So again, exhale, scoop, tuck, and roll up. And nice and slow, roll down. We have 4 more. Rolling up with control. Quick inhale at the top, and exhale, roll down. Still squeezing your legs. 3 more. Scoop, tuck, and roll. Pull those ribs down towards your waist. Stay nice and tight through the middle, and roll back down. If it's starting to bother your back, do not roll up as high. It's perfectly okay to have a little bit of a smaller bridge. Last one, we're rolling up, and we're rolling back down, squeezing those legs as tight as we possibly can. Now, let's change the leg position to heels together, toes apart. So we've got this, your knees are wide, but your heels are together, so we're in frog. Again, we're going to simple bridge up. So squeezing your heels together, you're going to roll up into a little froggy bridge. And we're gonna roll down nice and slow. And you have 5 more, finding the bottom. Big inhale at the bottom, exhale, ribs down towards waist, belly button to spine, roll up. And roll back down. Taking it nice and slow through each vertebrae. Feels a little bit different from this position. You have 4 more. Keep the tension on the heels. And try not to squeeze your booty until after you've tucked your hips. So make your lower abs do that initial tuck of the pelvis to curl you up, and then recruit the tush, the hamstrings, all of that kind of stuff. We're going to go up and down 2 more times. So scoop, tuck, and roll up into frog bridge, and roll down nice and slow. And one more time, scoop and tuck and roll up, and let's stay up in bridge. Make sure that your pelvis has a little bit of a scoop to it. We're holding this frog position, and if you have it, bring your knees together, and then go back out to frog. Squeeze your knees together, and out to frog. They might not actually touch, that's okay. You're just pulling them together and apart. You might really feel this on your hamstrings, so you might just be holding, that's okay. 2 more, squeeze together and apart, still in frog, together, one more time, apart, and let's roll down in frog one final time. You're going to hug your knees in towards your chest, and you're going to swing a little bit side to side just to get a little rock to your lower back. From here, let's bring your legs into a tabletop position. So your knees are over your hips. You're at 90 degrees. You're going to bring your arms up to the ceiling. Take a nice big inhale. You're going to exhale. We're doing 100, something we all know and love. Tuck your chin to your chest. Push your hands down and forward. Reach those fingers forward and think nice and engaged through the middle. And you're going to start to lightly pulse your arms. The back of the shoulder blades are either right on or right above the mat. And I'm going to keep my legs at 90 degrees right here, but you can reach them up to the ceiling, doing this, inhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhaling, or we can lower them anywhere in between. I'm going to keep them right here because this is where I feel comfortable today. So we're still in 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 3 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 4 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Reach those fingers and exhale. 6 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 7 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 8 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 9 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Last in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, and slowly roll down. You're going to keep this position for just a second, so squeeze those knees in towards your chest. And let's come back out. Let's raise those legs as straight as they want to go up towards the ceiling. You might be a little tight through the hamstrings, so your straight legs might not quite be straight legs, if you will. But we're going to reach those legs up towards the ceiling-ish, and they're straight-ish. Hands are going to be, let's put those hands above your chest. You're going to take a nice big inhale. You're going to press your hands down just like we would be on the reformer and curl up through the head, neck, and chest. If that doesn't feel good to you, just keep your head down. Your legs are straight, and let's lower just your straight right leg down. Lift it back up, and then just your straight left leg. Lift it back up. Bend your knees down to 90 degrees and lower your head, neck, and chest and raise your arms. So again, push those hands down, curl up. Straighten those legs, lower the right leg, and back up. Lower the left leg, and back up. Bend your knees, and lower the head, neck, and chest down. And again, curl up. You can drop the curl up. Straighten the legs. Lower single right. That comes back. Lower single left. That comes back. Bend the knees and lower head, neck, and chest. 3 more times. Press those hands down. Reach those legs up. Right goes down, and then left reaches long down. Bend the knees and lower head, neck, and chest. 2 more. Press down, curl up. Straighten the legs. Lower right. Lower left. Bend the knees and lower down. 1 more time. Press down, reach those hands forward, straighten the legs. Right down and back up. Left down and back up. Freeze right here, both legs. Down a little, lift a little. down a little, lift a little. One more time, tight through those abs, lift a little, bend your knees, drop your head, neck, and chest, and hug those knees in towards your chest. Okay, that's our middles. Let's roll over onto our bellies. So you're actually going to roll gracefully into a prone position. So you're laying down on your mat. You're going to have your legs long. We are towards the finish line, folks. Legs are long. We're going to have our hands at goalpost position. So what that means is obviously your elbows are in line with the shoulders. Your hands are flat. You are probably a little bit wider than your mat. Your legs are reaching long behind you. And in this position, I like to tuck my tail just to open up the low back and kind of press my pubic bone and hips towards the mat. Your head is actually going to be down, so your forehead is going to be down on the mat. And all I want you to do is lift that goalpost up. Reach both of your arms forward, pull them back. So elbows are back to shoulders. So reach your arms forward and then pull back the goalpost. Those shoulder blades we moved at the beginning are really struggling and trying to pull themselves down as you reach and pull back. Now, lift your chest a little bit, hold that lift and reach those arms long and pull back the goalpost. Again, reach those arms long and pull back the goalpost. One more time with this chest lifted and pull back the goalpost. Now, extra credit, lift both your legs. So chest and legs are lifted, reach those arms long, pull back the goalpost, squeeze those shoulder blades, reach those arms long, pull back the goalpost. One more, reach long, pull back the goalpost. Now, extra credit, we're holding this position, belly's in tight, left arm reaches long, right leg lifts, and pull that left arm back and lower the right leg. So right arm, left leg, reach and lift, and pull back. Opposite arm and leg, left arm, right leg, reach, and pull back. Right arm, left leg, reach, and pull back. Hold on to it. One more each side, left arm, right leg, pull back. Right arm, left leg, pull back, and lower down, and take a breath. Bring those hands to goalposts, and if you've already abandoned it, press your hands into the ground, and what's going to happen is you're going to push into the ground and just lift up just a little tiny bit through your chest. So we're in kind of like a mini swan, and then you're going to lower down. And if you've got it, you're going to press, and maybe you're going to push up just a little bit higher. Maybe you can push up all the way. Wherever you are, that's great. I just want you to lift and lower with control. Again, we're tucked through the tail just a little bit, and your belly button's in towards your spine as you lift and open through the chest and lower down. We're going to do 3 more. Big inhale, shoulders down the back, lifting into swan and lower down. 2 more. Lift and lower. And 1 more. Lift and slowly lower. Perfect. Now stay on the mat, don't move. It's just me moving my computer. You're going to slide your hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to curl your toes under. So I think you probably have some idea that we're going to lift up into a plank position. So what I want you to do is push into those hands, push into those toes, and as one strong unit, nice strong exhale up into plank. We're going to hold this plank, tuck our tail just a smidge, hold it for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hike your hips. Slowly walk back up to standing. Remember this is how we started. Hands are down towards the ground. Slight bend to the knees, slowly roll up, and we're finished. So, we all survived. My computer was a little touch and go there for a while, but we survived. Thank you guys very much. I hope you enjoy your day whenever you're watching this. And I think that's it. Yes?
That was awesome, Sarah.
That's
Thank
great.
you.